All right, good morning, everyone. Hope you had a good start to your weekend so far. We are going to start lying down today. So find a very comfortable position that you can lie down in and relax. Either in constructive rest like I'm in or flat on the ground. If you need a bolster or a blanket at this point, you can use that either under your knees, under your lower back, if that helps, or under the head. But we're just going to take some deep breaths here. Start to gain some focus. Give ourselves some time to arrive on our mat. Acknowledging that this is our time. We're using this time to better ourselves, focus on ourselves. Our own mental health, our own physical health. Start noticing our breath. And also noticing our belly rise and fall. When we inhale, letting the belly rise a little bit. When we exhale, let it fall. Perhaps engaging our audible breath here, just very gently. And if you have an intention that you'd like to set for yourself today, go ahead and do that now. Something you want to accomplish on the mat today, either physically or mentally. And once you've made that choice, consider it already done. Before we start any movement, let's make sure that our shoulders are away from our ears and maybe crawl our shoulder blades underneath a little bit more to open the chest. And once we're ready, let's start moving the head side to side, just starting to warm the neck. From here, let's start to shrug the shoulders, bring them up toward the ears, maybe up off the mat a little bit, creating some movement here. Just warming up at this point. Let's take our feet up off the mat, their knees bent. Our hands should be rooted into the mat and keeping us stable. And let's just try to move side to side a little bit. This doesn't have to be a big movement. Starting to warm up the core. Also getting a real nice lower back massage with this. If you want to go a little deeper side to side, you can. From here, let's lift the legs up. They don't have to be exactly straight, and the knees can still be bent. Let's draw some circles. Feet can be together, drawing one big circle, or you can independently draw circles. It's up to you. Really starting to feel that in the lower core now. can wake those muscles up. And let's bring our feet down about mat width apart. And let's let the knees fall over to one side. Feel a stretch, a twist. Maybe look the other direction. Let's switch to the other side. And coming back to center, let's bring our knees toward our chest. Grab with our hands and maybe rock side to side here. On an exhale, really squeeze them towards you. And release. Let's bring the arms up, reaching toward the ceiling. And then come all the way up over the head. Let's point the toes, bringing the legs straight. One big stretch. Now let's flex the feet and press with the heels. One big long exhale. Nice. Let's bring the legs and the arms up and reach toward the ceiling now. And relax down. We're going to spin the legs around, come to our side. Spin the legs around and come to tabletop. Making sure to stack the joints, spread the fingers wide. And we're going to start some barrel rolls. So this is just to kind of circle with the whole body. So bringing the shoulders down to the side, moving the hips side to side with this motion. This is kind of a version of cat-cow. So at the top, make sure you round your back a little bit. And then maybe go the other direction. All right, let's come back to center and then we'll do cat-cow. Inhale, look up, let the belly drop. Exhale, round through the back. Really press through the hands and repeat at your pace. One more time. Very nice. Let's bring the forearms down onto the mat, elbows down, keeping the tailbone high, pressing back with the tailbone, stretching through the shoulders into puppy. Very good. Let's come up back to our tabletop. And we're going to work our half series from here. So let's come all the way back to child's pose first. Exhale and shift back. Take a couple breaths here. And then we're going to make this a little bit more energetic. So we're going to come up to our kneeling plank or full plank if you like. And then shift forward, bringing the shoulders over the fingertips and slowly coming down. Exhale. Then pressing up, option to come to the knees And then another option to come either to child's pose again or downward facing dog. So I'm gonna do the more energetic version. You can choose what you like out of this. We're gonna warm up and do this 5 times. So coming forward and exhale down. Point the toes back, press up, and shift back. So no cobra here, just forward and back. Moving slowly with control. One more time. Coming back and meeting in downward facing dog. Maybe move your tail a little bit here if you like, or pedal your heels. Whatever movement feels good out of this. Keeping the head nice and loose. All right, from here we're going to do a side stretch. So let's take our left foot and bring it off the mat, the other side, so the right side, and just allow our left side body to stretch from this. Feel that opening. Coming back to center, and we'll go the other direction, taking the right foot off the left side of the mat. Feel that stretch through the side body, through the calf. Coming back to center, shifting back, downward facing dog. Let's work another movement here if we like. So option to take the left hand, bring it to the right leg. Feel that through the right arm and shoulder. And back to center, taking the right hand to the left leg. Really nice, good stretch here. And back, shifting back again, downward facing dog. Then let's walk forward on the mat, coming to forward fold. Bend the knees and release. The upper body. Shake the head loose here if you need to. Let's come up halfway, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway one more time. Make sure your spine and your neck are fairly neutral here. Exhale, forward fold. Let's bend the knees a lot. Arms out to sides, reach all the way up. Big inhale. Exhale, hands come to heart. Very nice. We've got one more little flow before we move into sun salutations. So checking our stance, making sure that our feet are about shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent. We're going to do an airplane flow. So this is sort of like a halfway lift, but the arms are going to come behind, palm down toward the earth, flat back from here, and then we'll inhale using core strength and lift back up to our prayer position. Exhale as we come toward the earth. Inhale as we come up. One more time. Lifting back up. Let's interlace our fingers behind our lower back. Lift Lift our hands off slightly, open the chest, look up, smile. All right, option here to fold this forward. Bringing the arms up very slightly off the back or more, depending on our shoulder flexibility. Head is nice, and head and neck are nice and relaxed. On the inhale, slowly come up using core strength, release the hands, reach. And hands to heart once more, exhale. All right, nice work. So we're gonna move through our sun salutations now. Make sure you're settled again with your stance and your posture. Settle the breath. All right, here we go. Big inhale, reach, extended mountain with a little back bend, and forward fold, exhale, hands to the mat. Right foot steps back, keep the heel up. Left foot back, downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, come to plank, and all the way down to the earth with control, exhale. Little back bend, lift the hands up off the mat if you like. Exhale down. Downward facing dog. Peel up and shift back. Right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Send that foot through for lunge, helping it up if necessary. Feet together, forward fold. Exhale. Rise up, hinging at the hips, reach. And sit back for chair pose. Spine is long, hug the knees in. One good long breath here, and then we move. Inhale, reach. And forward fold. Left foot back this time, nice long stance. Right foot back, downward facing dog, exhale. Plank. And send it down with control. Cobra. And down. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts this time. And lunge. Forward fold, exhale. Rise up, reach. And chair pose. Find stillness here in this last pose. Here we go again. Inhale, reach. Forward fold. Right foot back. Left foot back, down dog. Plank. Down to the earth. Exhale. Back bend. Down. Downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Lunge. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Come up slowly. Chair pose. And again, inhale, reach. And fold it down. Left foot back. Right foot back. Down dog. Plank. Cobra. And down. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. lunge, forward fold. Extended mountain. And sit back, exhale. All right, we've got two more. Inhale, reach. Forward fold. Right foot back. Left foot back, down dog. Plank. All the way down. Cobra. Down. Downward facing dog. Three-legged dog, right side. Lunge. Forward fold. Reach up. Sit back. Last one, here we go. Reach and fold. Left foot back, right foot back, downward facing dog. Plank with control, down. Back bend. Down. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Lunge. Forward fold. Reach it up. Chair pose. Try to sit a little deeper here. Hold for one more breath. And shake it out. Nice work. Get a drink of water if you've got some nearby. Otherwise, make sure to have some water after our practice. You should always stay hydrated. All right, we're going to start our next section with a low lunge. Let's bring our left foot forward. And we can stay lifted here, or we can bring our hands down for more of a runner's lunge. It's up to you. Just trying to keep our posture here. You can always pad that back knee if we need to. Did this pose several times, but just really making sure we work into those muscles for these static versions. Make sure your front knee is over your front ankle. It's not coming too far forward. Good integrity in the pose. All right, from here, let's bring our hands to either side our front foot if we aren't there already, and then lift that back knee for runner's lunge. Spine is fairly straight, neck is neutral. You can use blocks here if you like, if that makes this more comfortable. Option here to come to easy twist, lifting the left hand up toward the ceiling. Right hand stays grounded on the mat. And send that hand back down, exhale. Let's work our way up our leg to come to high lunge. Keeping that back heel up, lift the hands, reach. Option here to add a side bend. So if I've got my left leg forward, bringing my left hand to my hip, reaching up with my right hand, really extending through that hip point. Maybe bending that back knee a little more if we need it. Finding what we need out of these poses. And release. From here, we're going to come to a tripod pose. So using the hands on that front leg, starting to lift the back leg a little bit more up off the mat. And we can use a block underneath our hands here or bring our hands to the mat for a tripod pose. So our hands can be down here like this. And lifting that leg even more if we like, depending on what we want today. Also depending on our balance. Pressing through that heel, flexing the foot. Option here to come to Warrior 3. So lifting the arms up off the mat or the block, bringing them behind, palm toward the earth. Thumbs rotated to the outside. We can also have our hands on our hips if we like that. Another option here to bring the arms up overhead. A little more lever length, which is more for the lower back and the core. Again, just taking what you need out of this. And let's release down. And we'll switch legs, coming back to our low lunge with the right leg forward. So here in our low runner's lunge or lifted, again, patting the knee if we need to. Very good. Let's bring our hands to the mat. Come to runner's lunge, lifting that back knee. Option here for easy twist. Lifting the right hand. And releasing that hand, bring it to the leg. Coming up to our high lunge. Looking slowly, making sure we've got our balance. Really reach, open at the chest. Option here for lateral flexion, which is to bring our right hand to our hip, reaching our left hand for that side bend. Opening up this left side body. Very nice. Let's release. We're going to come to our tripod on this side. So using that block if we need it, or a book, or just coming to the mat. Using that right leg as a root, bending it a little bit, taking our left leg back as high as parallel to the mat. That's what we want to try. Option to come to Warrior 3. Lifting the arms, reaching behind. Balancing on that root leg. Further option for Superman. Arms up overhead. one more good breath here. And relax it down. Nice work. All right. For our next section, let's start with just a quad stretch here. So if you want to grab onto a wall, you can do that for some stabilization. Otherwise, just taking the foot behind, squeezing the heel toward the glute, just very gently. Option here to lift the knee back a little bit, kicking the foot into the hand. If you'd like to come to dancer's pose, you can do the more full expression. So bending that root knee a little bit more, lifting the lifted knee back even more, bringing the left hand up and out. More of a back bend here as well. And let's release. We'll come to the other side. Quad stretch here. And then an option for our dancer's pose. Make sure that you're breathing. And relax it down. Nice work. All right. Let's take our feet wider than shoulder width apart for the next technique. We're going to bend the knees, sit back. Think of this like a wide-legged chair pose. And with this, we're going to move side to side. This is called Big Bear looks to the left and right. All right, so we're going to shift the feet. We're going to bring the weight more toward one side. And as we do that, we're going to lift. Think of this like a warrior one. And then bending, coming through center, the hands can come to the legs, shifting the feet to the other side, look up, lift. Moving with our breath side to side. Coming through the other side, lift, open the chest. And through. This is a good twist, also really nice for opening up the hips, warming things up. Sometimes we work these just as static poses, but I find that functional movement is always helpful. So we're not necessarily in life just taking a stance and staying there. We just want to move through and feel how a stance or a technique feels when we are in motion. And relax. Nice work. Okay. Our last balance pose is going to be eagle. So we're going to take one leg. I'm going to take my right leg, wrap it around the left, and start bending into that left knee. Got a lot of single leg balances today. Should be really good for working that balance and focus. So if you can, if you have the flexibility, I don't, but you can try to take that foot and wrap it around the calf for that secondary wrap there. Option here to take the arms to prayer posture, or if you want to try eagle arms, bringing one arm underneath, the other arm like an upside down T, and then lifting that hand and reaching toward fingers and clasping. Lifting the elbows a little bit. Feel that stretch between the shoulder blades. Another option here to fold this one forward. So trying to keep the back fairly straight here. As we sit back, crown of the head comes down. Really feel that strongly in the lower back. Using core strength, let's lift back up. And we'll unwind and go to the other side. Nice job. All right, option for that foot twist, and then bringing the other arm underneath for this one and reaching toward fingers. Optional, coming forward into that fold. Very nice. Let's release. Okay, we've got one more energy exercise for this section. So we're going to start from feet together toward the back of the mat. And we're going to work a flowing step. I think we've done this one a couple times before, so you may know the stepping pattern. From feet together, we're going to lift one heel up off the mat as we lift our arms. Our hands are really loose. Imagine there's a string pulling up your wrists. And then we're going to roll over so the hands come toward the shoulders, and then press forward as we take a step, coming to like a short warrior stance here. Hands come down, and release the feet back together. We'll repeat on the other side, so lifting the hands at the same time as we lift that foot, coming to the toes, and then pressing forward with that step. Exhale. Light exhale as we come back. Inhale. Exhale and press. Working that synchronicity between our breath and motion. It's very calming. Most of the techniques in Tai Chi work this exact concept. And yoga too. One more time on each side. And feet together. All right, let's come back to the mat. Hands and knees. We're going to come back to our puppy stretch. So let's bring our elbows down to the mat. Forearms down, hands down and fingers spread wide. Shifting back through the tailbone. And we'll hold this one longer this time, giving time for that stretch. As we exhale, extending a little bit further back through the tailbone, feeling that stretch. Two more good deep breaths here. All right, let's release up off the mat, coming to our tabletop, and we'll come to our belly for Sphinx pose. So same as before, elbows underneath the shoulders, lifting the head. It's just that the body is lying on the mat at this point. Really try and lift and open the heart forward. pick the crown of the head up a little bit more. Draw the shoulders back, shoulder blades together. And let's release down to the mat. We can bring our hands underneath our forehead, or turn our head to the side. Breathe. From here, we're going to move to locust pose, bringing our arms down to our sides. Starting by lifting our feet up off the mat, then lifting our chin and our collarbone, shoulders knitting up and together, and then starting to lift our hands, lifting our knees, and coming up higher, really squeezing through the mid and upper back and the glutes. Option here to add more lever length, bringing the arms up above and hovering toward the front of the mat. And release down, exhale. Nice work. All right, from here we're going to move to our half bow. So bending the knee, reaching behind, whichever knee, reaching behind, grabbing at the ankle, and then starting to lift up the mat, off the mat very slightly. Doesn't have to be much. And we'll release. Come to the other side. And we'll release. Nice work. Option here to come to full bow if you want to, otherwise time for rest, or you can do locust. So whatever version you want here, but full bow is both legs. And then using the strength of our legs to open slightly and lift the chest up. Knees are coming up off the mat slightly. And release. Nice work. All right, we're going to come up to our hands and knees again and back to child's pose. Exhale. As we come back, arms either out in front for extension or out to your sides. Forehead can be resting on the mat or block, or you can stack your hands underneath your forehead. Option here to stretch the triceps a little bit more, bringing the hands together in prayer, and then bending so they are bending your arms so your hands are above your head like a little shark fin. One more breath here. Very nice. Let's release and we'll come to our tabletop once more. We're going to come to a supported side plank Bringing our left knee toward the center of the mat, left hand toward the top middle, shoulder directly above, and right foot down at the bottom, flat on that foot, extending through the edge of the foot, and then lifting the right arm toward the ceiling. Also making sure that that left knee is directly under the hip. We've got a couple options here. We can come to full side plank, moving that left leg out and around, and only being on the feet, and on that left hand, keeping the body nice and straight. If we're in our supported version, or even if we're not, we can lift that top leg. Very nice. Let's release. Let's bring that knee back down if it's not already, and we'll come to the other side. And then our option here for taking that support out for full side plank, and option for lifting that top leg. Can't really do it from the full version, but you may be able to. Otherwise, we can be here. And relax down. Nice work. Coming out slowly. Okay, we're going to move to pigeon pose from here. So coming back to our tabletop once more, bringing the left knee in toward the center of the mat, working the right leg back. And we can bring that foot out to the side a little bit more if we like. It can be all the way to 3 o'clock here on the mat if this is 12 o'clock. The foot can be out 3 o'clock here, or anywhere between there and 6 o'clock. Then we come down toward the mat, making sure if we need to that we support that left hip with a block so we're not bumping out to the side. Just making sure that our hips are level here. Block is a good way to ensure that we stay safe in this pose. We're going to stay here for several breaths, so settle in, work that right knee back a little more if you need more stretch, adjust where your foot is if you need, so you can get the best benefit of this pose without causing too much stress in the pose. It's not what we're looking for. So monitor your breath, monitor if you're having any pain, making sure that you are keeping your leg and hip safe. All right, let's start to come out slowly, bringing that right knee forward, coming back to our tabletop position, and then switching legs. Again, using that block as a support for the hip if needed. All right, let's start to come out. Nice work. Coming back to our tabletop once more, we're going to work a upper body twist and then moving to thread the needle. So let's bring our right arm up toward the ceiling, twisting through the trunk, staying rooted with the other limbs, and then on an exhale, bringing that arm through, palm up, coming to the shoulder, and the line down to the side of the head. Couple breaths here. And then slowly coming out, reaching up with that hand again. And down, exhale. Let's go to the other side, lifting the left hand. And exhale, send it through, palm up. Shoulder, side of the head to the mat. Let's lift back up, reach, uncoil, and bring that hand down. All right, our last strength pose, we're going to work spinal balance, bringing our right leg out, pressing with the heel, and reaching out with our left hand, creating a long line, tight through the core. Staying stable and breathing. And we'll bring the hand and the foot down. Exhale. Let's come to the other side. Left foot, right hand. And down slowly. Nice work. All right, for Shavasana today, we have a few options. If you want to lie on your back or do our supported fish pose as we've done, you can also do child's pose if you like. So if that is something you want to do, of course, you could always do this for Shavasana. Whatever pose is most beneficial for you. So if lying on your back is best, or constructive rest, your knees up toward the ceiling and feet flat, reducing lower back curvature, that may be helpful for you. Otherwise, just finding a pose that's going to work for us for about the next 5 minutes as we do our breathing. Close out our class. So whatever pose we're in, slowing our breath, building that focus again. Letting our shoulders relax, letting our chest relax. Noticing the movement of our belly as we breathe. Let's turn our thoughts inward to the intention we may have set for ourselves at the beginning of class, if we did. Thinking back on that goal and seeing how we did without creating any judgment on ourselves or comparison with others. Seeing what we may still need to work on. Maybe we noticed that our balance was a little shaky, and maybe that means we need to do more balance poses in the future. Maybe our hips are tight, or another area is tight or painful. Noticing how that area feels now, if it's any better or if it may need some work still. So many distractions going around us all the time. It's very difficult to tune in to what our body is telling us and what our breath is telling us. These are big keys into our mental health and physical health. Just starting to listen can be so beneficial. When we do this, we're creating elasticity, we're creating strength of the mind, strength of the body for the rigors of our daily life. So we can meet those challenges, stay strong, be resilient. Quickly bounce back when we have setbacks. All these things are tools that we learn and train during your yoga practice. Keep us strong and healthy. Start to progressively relax from the top of our head all the way down to our feet, working through any key areas that may be trouble for you. Relaxing the forehead and the jaw, softening the gaze. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing through the collarbone. Relaxing into the chest. And down through the belly. Through the shoulders and hips. Elbows and knees. And all the way down to our fingertips and our toes. Continuing to breathe and noticing our internal energy. still in turmoil in any way, trying to relax and just breathe, calm the storm. Start to bring some movement back, maybe in the hands and feet, maybe in the shoulders. And when we're ready, let's bring our knees into our chest and turn over onto our side. A couple of good deep breaths here, feeling refreshed and renewed. Ready for whatever challenges the day may bring. And when we're ready, let's come up to a seated position, bringing our hands to our knees, sitting up tall. Let's close our practice with one big breath and chant together. You can chant with us if you like, or just listen. You can unmute if you like to join in the chant. We're going to chant Om just one time today. Big inhale, exhale, and let the body vibrate all the way to the earth. Big inhale. And breathe. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy the snow that's coming in the next day or so, that everybody stays safe. We'll see you next time. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thanks, John.
Take care, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Have a good time skiing.
Thanks.